favorite SUV in terms of design, in terms of everything, it has to be the Velar. The Velar is just beautiful. And Range Rover interiors, Maserati has no chance to catch up. Range Rover interiors are just so well built, so well designed, and for every single car maker that has gone to touch screen, be it Mercedes-Benz or BMW or Maserati or Ferrari or Porsche, every one of them. Of course, Volvo has the most user-friendly one, but I have to say Land Rover did the best job in terms of digitalizing their center console without feeling cheap, and the way they integrate their graphics. So you see a lot of car makers, right, when they go into touchscreen, look at Volvo, their approach is like a mobile phone with icons and all that. And then you look at BMW, which does nothing, it's just a linear menu system or a graphical thing. But after you do a few clicks, right, it's all just linear text, and then you click, you go into the next menu. Whereas Land Rover did a fantastic thing. It's almost like an infographic. You know, the cars here, the buttons are there. It's nicely planned out. I think Land Rover did a great job, but it's not as user friendly as Volvo's. Volvo has an initial learning curve, but after that it's just so easy to use. Whereas the others, they focus a bit more on aesthetics, whether it looks beautiful or not. Porsche did try the infographic route, but it ended up horrible. Porsche's new infotainment touchscreen user interface has got to be one of the worst out there. It is absolutely horrible in terms of how they plan the menu system, which button to go where. It is everywhere. Suddenly it's a picture of a car with buttons there. You click and then there's a line underneath to indicate on or off. Suddenly it goes into a linear menu system. It's just with ticks. You click and then it tick. Oh my god, it's just horrible. Right? They should fix the whole UI. It's horrible. Porsche is something that you rarely fucked up. Yeah. And you fucked up your infotainment user interface. Alright. Hi Bobby, is there a guide to how much booking or deposit to pay at a dealership or to a private owner? Is it pretty much a gentleman's agreement that I'm okay to pay this, and then for them to show me the car, test drive, get it checked, and then will the deposit get absorbed into the car price? And what circumstances can I request my deposit back? Now, generally speaking, I'm going to answer you in the Malaysian context, because I don't know any other country has their own standard operating procedure, mutual understanding kind of way. Like Singaporeans, they can go to a food court and put a pack of tissue there and they book that seat, right? You try and do this in Malaysia, you try and do this anywhere in the world and people would fight with you, right? But in Singapore, just a tissue pack books your seat, you know. Anyway, for buying cars in Malaysia, be it a dealership or private seller, generally the process is this. Okay, first off, a caveat. It is generally accepted and practiced in Malaysia that once you book a car with your deposit, and then you go and process your loan, but if the bank rejects your loan, you can take your deposit back. But of course, everything that I'm about to say, which I consider as general practice, is up to how both of you agree, right? Because if the guy tells you that you want to put a booking here, if your loan doesn't pass, I'm going to absorb your booking because you're wasting my time. But if you agree to that, he has full rights to do that. So best to not have any verbal agreement. Use WhatsApp, or if you guys can, you can draft a document if you want to go all out formal, but WhatsApp is good enough, right? One message to and from, both of you agree, print screen the message, agree, blah 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 blah, either way. Alright, so generally speaking, let's say you want this car, okay, and then you're like, okay, I kind of like your car, let's talk prices. He wants 75, you guys nego, 70,000, let's say. Okay, 70,000, gentleman's handshake, okay. Let's let's say this is a dealer now, okay, gentleman's handshake, 70,000, and then he will give a booking, like a deposit, so that he won't engage another person yet. You are first in line. Of course, he has full rights to take booking from a few others, but you are already first in line, right, for this price. So what you guys do with the dealer is that he will bring you into his office, and then he will draft a document. Let's say selling price is 70,000. Your down payment is your deposit is 1,000 ringgit to express your interest in pursuing this car, and then the next step will be doing your loan for your side, and of course you should request an inspection, right? That's why we prepared our Evo Club inspection centers. The link is down there in the description. So you can tell the dealer, okay, while I'm preparing my loan, please go to this workshop, or which one, under Evo Club Inspection Center, so that the car can be inspected to be sure of everything, or the condition is not too bad, right? So that can be done. Certain dealers will say that no, I'm not going to do all that before you hand me all your documents to process loan and all that. All right, it's up to you guys. Okay, so you prepare your documents, which is your payslip, your bank statement, any proof of income and all that, so that you can pass to the dealer. The dealer will blast it out to the bankers that they work with, and then process your loan. So while that is ongoing, because it takes a few days for the documentations to be done, for the application to be done, then the car will be sent for inspection, right? So if the inspection came back with, oh man, your gearbox is done for, it's horrible, or the engine has serious issues and all that, then you can call off the deal and take back your deposit. But if it is a wear and tear thing, like the brake pads needs to be changed, and the mountings are worn, suspension, your struts have some leakage and all that, those are generally wear and tear. And yeah, of course the one thing we dreaded most is once we go for inspection, if the guy tells you this car has been in an accident before, how big is the accident? If it's a small accident, it's alright, but if it's a big one, they found traces of it, of the frame being pulled back or welding and all that nonsense, then it's a definite call off, right? You have every right to call off. So um, so once those are, if everything is okay, your 1,000 ringgit goes into the purchase price of the car, which means you need to pay 69,000. How do you pay for that 69,000? Maybe the bank approve a loan of 60,000, then you need to pay that 9,000, probably that way. As to a private seller, it's more or less the same, but because they are private sellers, they won't have a document to prepare and all that, to prepare everything. So the way to do it, probably a good way would be maybe take their email, and then whatever you guys agree, you draft it out, send to him, he reply you and say that I agree to these terms, blah 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 blah, and that is a form of contract in a way, or WhatsApp, all right? But okay, WhatsApp. Okay, in a group communication, you can delete your message, but in a peer-to-peer two-person, I don't think you can delete a message for the other person. So that will be a good way as well. Or and of course, for private seller, when you pay that person 1,000 ringgit deposit, it is better to it is safer for both parties to maybe take a selfie. When you pay him the 1,000 ringgit, take a selfie, both of you smile, take a selfie showing your 1,000 ringgit you paid him, and then after that you can send that picture to him and say that this is to verify that, or put into black and white in a way that I paid you the 1,000 ringgit, and he should reply that yes, I received it, something like that, for you to serve as a proof. right? Do not ever pay money before you see the car or before you are able to process anything. You know, some scams, most of the scams, how they work on Muda or whatever is, they show a car and then you call them, then he will tell you things like, oh, I have another 6 person who wanted to view the car. If you want to view the car, you want to take time off me, you better pay a booking, a 500 or 1,000 ringgit booking, so that we can meet up and show you the car, because I don't want you to waste my time, blah 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 blah. Don't pay. Don't ever pay someone just by looking at the car online and pay him some money just to be able to see the car. No, don't ever do that, right? Most scams work that way. So what do is that, let's say there's this car, market price is about 70,000 ringgit, and then they will post it up for 61,000, you know, or 62,000, which is significantly cheaper than others, but not too cheap that it raises suspicion. And then it makes it, they price it like a great deal, and from there they collect bookings from 30-40 people, and then they disappear. So this is the usual scams that is going on, so be mindful of that. Alright, okay Bobby, how does the Langkawi taxation work for Peninsular residents? Lesser taxation to bring into Peninsula after 3 years? Yes. So in Malaysia we have this island called Langkawi. There's also Labuan, but it's very far away, so let's not bother with that. Most people would buy their cars and register in Langkawi, buy their supercars. Alright, because Langkawi is a tax haven. It is tax free. So generally cars in Langkawi is half the price. But it is an island. And where we all stay is the peninsula of Malaysia. And Peninsula, you get full tax, right? You're gonna get tax. So a lot of supercar owners, what they do is that they purchase the car and register it in Langkawi, so that they don't have to pay the taxes. Let's say the car is 1 million ringgit, you're gonna pay another million for tax, right? So if they buy the car, they put it in Langkawi, it's only 1 million. Now they can drive the car around in Langkawi, but technically speaking, they cannot bring the car into Peninsula. However, our government is very kind. They have this thing whereby you can pay a bank guarantee. Let's say your car is 1 million ringgit and the tax is about another million. It works somewhere around 500,000, half the value of the tax as a bank guarantee. You pay it to the customs, and they allow you, after you pay that money, they allow you to bring the car into Peninsula for a maximum of 90 days a year. So every year your car can be driven on Peninsula roads cumulatively not more than 90 days. And each time you bring in, maximum 30 days. That means your car is in Langkawi, you can pay those with hangers. They will take care of your car. You pay them a monthly charges. They will start your car. They will make sure your car is alright, you know, battery and all that. So when you need the car in Peninsula, you can tell them. They will arrange it for you. They will ship the car over, and then they will ferry the car to your house. And each round they charge about, from what I know, they charge a few thousand ringgit. So you can use your car in Peninsula for 30 days, and then you need to send the car back to Langkawi. Once you send it back, after a while you can bring it back again, and maximum 90 days. Now, in terms of, but that only applies for the sports cars and all that. If it is an SUV, you don't need to pay that guarantee. You can just bring it in for 90 days and then you send it back. Alright, beats me why. Anyway, now in terms of taxation, our taxation on cars, right, it works in a depreciated manner. So let's say the car is a 2018 car. If on that year you want to bring it into Peninsula, you're going to pay full taxation, which is almost the actual price of the car itself. But If you wait 1 year, right, you leave the car in Langkawi, the next year, 2019, then you bring the car in, then you get a discount on the taxation on the premise that the car has also depreciated. If you wait for 2 years, you save more. 3 years, you save a lot, right? So that's why I mentioned that in my Levante video. You can, the maximum you can put in Langkawi for 5 years, and then it doesn't get taxed anymore. You can bring it in, but it's 5 years old. Yeah. If you want to wait for 5 years, all right. Okay. Hi, Bobby. Would you rather get a BMW M2 Competition or a Porsche 911 Carrera S 991.2, and why? I would get a Porsche 911 Carrera S because an M2 is a 2 Series with more power and has the same interior as a 1 Series with more carbon fiber and Alcantara. At the end of the day, it is the entry-level BMW, the performance version. Even though the M2 is beautiful, it is a rocket ship, and it has a lot of street cred. But at the end of the day, a Porsche 911 is a Porsche 911 and will be a Porsche 911. Yeah, it's just different. It's just two categories of things, right? You can have a 1 Series. Let's not talk about whether it's M or not, right? The base model, the base structure of the car, the base interior structure of the car, the infotainment system of the car. 1 Series, you pay more, you get 3. You pay more, you get 5. You pay more, you get 7 Series. And then that's where the 911 sits on top of that, right? In terms of price point, in terms of exclusivity, in terms of prestige, and now that the 911 is there, the 2 Series is here. Of course, this is an M2, but in the face of a 911, it's just an M2, even though you're fast, right? So yeah, I would go for a 911. It's just beautiful. Even though the M2 is beautiful as well, it's a bit like asking someone whether you want a 911 or a Mitsubishi Evo something. Yeah, I see an M2 as a Mitsubishi Evo or a Subaru Impreza WRX STI, something like that. Alright? Hi Bobby, the Tesla Model X has frameless doors. Now the Tesla Model X is an SUV solely because Tesla claims it is an SUV. Actually, there's zero indication it is an SUV. It doesn't have the right height, right? It's actually an MPV with a gull-wing door. If you think about it, it is actually an MPV. The egg shape looks like that Citroen Picasso thingy. Yeah, I just can't. I just don't understand why it is claimed as an SUV. But of course, when you claim it's an SUV, people will believe it is an SUV and they'll buy it like buying an SUV versus claiming it as an MPV. An MPV sounds emasculating. MPV sounds like you have no balls. SUV sounds like you have big balls, you know? That's the difference. Hi Bobby, rumor has it that the Mazda 3 will be fitted with a turbo. Do you think it will arrive in Malaysia? I really hope it will have a turbo and 4-wheel drive, and Mazda Malaysia actually brings it in, because then people will buy it. I hope they call it a Mazda Speed or something. Give it a special brand, like a performance version of a Mazda 3. Just like the CX-5 2.5 Turbo, they should give it a performance branding. It will help the car sell so much better, you know. Anyway, I really hope the Mazda 3 with turbocharged and 4-wheel drive and manual or not comes in, so that someone will buy it and then I'll buy a used one later on. I will definitely buy it. I mean a used one, okay? I'm someone who buy used cars. Alright. Please bring it in. Okay. Too bad Malaysia doesn't have the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Both Levante and Stelvio had Ferrari DNA. I mean, given that they have the 3.9 V8. To be honest, if you ask me, even though I love the Alfa Romeo brand, the Stelvio to me is not good looking. It is just not good looking. I'll take the Levante in a heartbeat. The Stelvio is just too gaudy. They're trying too hard to cram that Giulia look into the Stelvio, and to me, it doesn't work on the Giulia. It won't work on the Stelvio either. That design is just horrible. I just don't think. I mean, even though the Giulia's cutting, the proportions and all that is just wonderful, but I just don't think it's. I just don't see it as Alfa's best attempt. Alfa's best attempt is the Alfa 159. Beautiful car. Alright. Hi Bobby. Oh, Mr. Leong. Which car should I choose? A Volkswagen Passat Elegance or a Mazda 3 2020? I know they're not in the same segment, but the price is quite near after rebates. Now, if you buy both these cars, Volkswagen Passat Elegance and Mazda 3, at the same price point, within 2 years, the Passat's price will probably be here, and then the Mazda 3's price will be here, and a few more years the Passat's price will probably be here, and then the Mazda's price will be here. It's going to depreciate a lot faster than the Mazda 3, but it is a bigger car, a more comfortable car, way more comfortable, way more practical. No, way more practical, way more comfortable than the Mazda 3. It is also way more boring than the Mazda 3. And the best part, the Mazda 3 qualifies for Evo Enduro. Yeah. And it's beautiful. The Mazda 3 is